Welcome, dear soul. You didn't click on this video by accident. Something deeper pulled you here. Maybe a whisper in your heart, a need for clarity, or a hunger for a peace you've yet to find. Today we begin a journey, not a casual scroll through ancient sayings, but a powerful awakening rooted in the life and wisdom of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His lessons are not just historical reflections, they are timeless keys to unlocking the life you were meant to live. Breathe deeply, inhale with intention, exhale with surrender. For the next hours, we walk together, not through empty motivation, but through the sacred truths that shaped a civilization and healed broken hearts. Let's begin with a question. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but peace still escapes you? You're not alone, and the solution may not lie ahead, but behind us, in the wisdom preserved for over 1400 years. In this video, you will learn 10 life-altering lessons from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. These lessons are spiritual compasses, each one guiding you to a deeper sense of purpose, fulfillment, and divine connection. But don't rush. Transformation takes time. Let this be your retreat from the chaos, your spiritual realignment. Are you ready to hear what your heart has been waiting for? Lesson 1. The power of sincerity. Living with Ikhlas. Let me ask you something. Have you ever done something good, but deep down, you hoped someone would notice, maybe even praise you for it? If so, you're not alone. This is a struggle of the soul, the desire to be seen versus the call to be sincere. But here's the truth. A deed without sincerity is like a seed planted on concrete. It may look good for a moment, but it won't grow. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that intention is the foundation of every action. In one of the most well-known hadiths, he said, "Actions are but by intentions, and every man shall have only that which he intended." That one sentence holds the key to unlocking a meaningful life. Do you seek approval from others, or are you seeking closeness to Allah? The difference between the two is the difference between a life filled with inner peace and one enslaved by the opinions of others. If no one could ever see your good deeds again, would you still do them? Tough one, isn't it? Sincerity, or Ikhlas, is not just about purifying your actions. It's about freeing yourself from ego, from expectations, from needing applause. It's about realigning your heart to serve the one who created it. In a world obsessed with likes, followers, and validation, sincerity is rebellion. It is quiet strength. It is the inner revolution that transforms every act, big or small, into an act of worship. But here's the danger. Hypocrisy is the enemy of sincerity. It hides behind good deeds, whispering, "Do it for them." And the Prophet, peace be upon him, warned us that the first people to be judged on the day of judgment include those who did good, but for the wrong reasons. Their deeds, no matter how impressive they appeared, will be turned into dust. That's terrifying and humbling. But here's the beauty. Even a small act done with pure sincerity weighs more with Allah than mountains of empty rituals. Imagine what your life could become if every word, every smile, every silent struggle was done for him alone. Let's go deeper. Sincerity is not a one-time switch. It's a daily battle. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, constantly made dua for a pure heart. He asked Allah to purify his soul, the most perfect human being asking for sincerity. If he made that dua regularly, what about us? Practical steps to cultivate Ikhlas. Renew your intention. Before every prayer, every action, ask, who am I doing this for? Make private worship a habit. Pray at night. Give secret charity. Do good when no one is watching. Ignore the applause. When praised, say, "Oh Allah." Don't hold me accountable for what they say, and make me better than what they think. Reflect often. Journal or make time to reflect. Were my actions sincere today? Okay, random but real. If your phone battery had only 5% left, you'd probably panic. Now imagine your Ikhlas is at 5%. Shouldn't we panic even more? Sincerity reorients the soul. It turns ordinary life into sacred devotion. Even washing dishes, driving to work, or caring for family becomes a path to Allah, if the heart is right. But here's the ultimate goal. When you act only for Allah, you become unshakable. Praise doesn't inflate you, criticism doesn't crush you. You are rooted like a tree whose roots reach deep into the soil of faith. As you move forward today, ask yourself, is this for Allah? And if not, reset, purify, begin again. Lesson 2, discipline in daily worship, a framework for a focused life. Let's begin with a breath of intention. Today we explore a life lesson that is both profound and practical. Discipline in daily worship. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly felt present in your worship? Not rushed, not distracted, but truly anchored. Discipline in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was not a burden. It was a rhythm rooted in love, not obligation, in purpose, not pressure. Let's admit it, modern life is chaotic. Calendars are filled, notifications never end. Yet the Prophet, peace be upon him, maintained unwavering consistency. He showed us that discipline is not about rigidity. It's about alignment. Alignment with what? With the divine, with our ultimate purpose. Quick question: how many tabs do you have open on your browser right now? If your mind had tabs, how many would be open right now while you're listening to this? Discipline in Islam isn't about creating a mechanical life. It's about creating a meaningful one. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, rose for Fajr not out of habit, but out of love for that sacred connection. He structured his day around prayer, not the other way around. What does this teach us? Time is not the enemy. Time is the test. Discipline in worship creates spiritual structure, and spiritual structure creates emotional clarity. Here's where the urgency comes in. Every day you are pulled in 1,000 directions, but only one direction truly matters. Toward Allah. Ask yourself, what do I need to realign today? My prayer, my attention, my intention. And what happens when discipline is missing? What invisible damage does it do to our spiritual health? We'll uncover that in just a moment, but first, let's reflect. Discipline is not just about showing up. It's about showing up with purpose. The Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't miss tahajjud even when exhausted. Why? Because he knew something we forget. That connection gives energy, not drains it. Want to unlock clarity in your day? Begin it with prayer. Want to silence anxiety? Anchor yourself in dhikr. Want to overcome laziness? Create sacred habits. Now, a touch of humor to reset us. Let's be honest. Hitting the snooze button is a modern-day jihad, especially for Fajr. But every time you resist it, you reclaim your life. You reclaim it from heedlessness, from spiritual fog. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that small, consistent acts are more beloved to Allah than large, inconsistent ones. This is your roadmap. Step 1. Pick one act of worship and commit, even if small. A single dua after every salah. Step 2. Protect your prayer times like a treasure. Step 3. Treat discipline as devotion, not drudgery. What's one act of worship you've neglected recently? Got it in mind? Good. That's your starting point. Because discipline is the foundation on which every other life lesson stands. When you control your time, you control your soul. Lesson 3. The power of intentions. Vertical bar. If you've made it this far, you've already begun planting seeds of transformation in your heart. Now let's explore a lesson that's deceptively simple, yet immensely powerful. The power of intention. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that every action is judged by its intention. Let that settle in for a second. Imagine the difference between two people doing the same action, say giving charity. One does it to impress others, the other does it quietly, sincerely for the sake of Allah. The physical act might look identical, but in the sight of Allah, the outcomes are worlds apart. Pause here. Think about your daily actions, working, speaking, praying. What drives them? Who are you really doing them for? If that made you a little uncomfortable, good. Growth lives in discomfort. In a world obsessed with results, Islam brings us back to why we do what we do. Intention isn't just the start of the journey, it's the compass that guides the whole path. You could climb the highest mountain, but if it's the wrong mountain, you're still lost. And here's something funny. Sometimes we convince ourselves we have good intentions, when really, we just want validation. Raise your hand if you've ever posted something inspirational and then checked for likes 5 minutes later. Yup, we've all been there. No judgment, just awareness. Here's the transformative part. When you renew your intentions for Allah alone, even the mundane becomes sacred. Cooking for your family, worship. Working honestly, worship. Smiling at a stranger, worship. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Actions are but by intentions, and every man shall have only that which he intended." This isn't just a reminder, it's a warning and a doorway to freedom. Because once you purify your intention, your heart becomes light. You're no longer trapped by what others think. You're living for something higher. So here's a challenge. For the next hour, pause before every action and silently ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Let this lesson be the mirror that reflects your inner world, because what's hidden in the heart is what shapes the course of your life. Stay tuned, because in the next lesson, we're diving deep into the transformative strength of humility. And lesson 4, the strength of humility. Let's begin with a question. What if the very thing you're chasing, success, peace, honor, comes only when you stop trying to be great in the eyes of the world? In our modern culture, humility is often misunderstood as weakness. But in Islam, humility is a sign of spiritual maturity and strength. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the most humble of men, despite being the greatest of creation. Humility doesn't mean denying your worth. It means recognizing that your worth comes from Allah, not from your titles, achievements, or social media followers. It's the ability to bow before truth, to admit wrong, and to lift others without needing credit. Here's a pattern interrupt. Ever met someone who's humble, and they won't stop telling you they're humble? That's not humility, that's humble bragging. True humility doesn't announce itself, it just is. When you're humble, you create space for wisdom to enter. arrogance blocks growth, but humility, it makes the heart fertile for transformation. So ask yourself, in what areas of life am I clinging to ego? Where do I feel the need to be right, to win, to prove? For the next 24 hours, seek out one opportunity to let someone else take the credit. Let that moment teach you the quiet strength of the humble heart. Lesson 5. The freedom of forgiveness. Forgiveness, a word that's easy to say and hard to live. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, embodied forgiveness in ways that still shake the hearts of believers. He forgave those who hurt him, who mocked him, who fought against him, not because they deserved it, but because his heart was anchored in something greater. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Unforgiveness chains your heart to the past. Forgiveness, on the other hand, sets you free. Here's a moment of truth. Who do you need to forgive? Maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's yourself. Take a breath. Let that thought sit with you. Islam doesn't ask us to be naive. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting people hurt you again. It means releasing the grip of resentment so your soul can breathe. Humorous reset. You ever hold a grudge for so long you forget what it was about, but you're still mad? Yep, time to let go, friend. Allah is Al-Ghafur, the most forgiving. When we forgive, we reflect a divine quality, and the reward, immense. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Show mercy to those on earth, and the one above the heavens will show mercy to you." So here's your action. Write down one person you need to forgive. Make dua for them. It may feel impossible, but start. Even a small step opens the door to healing. Lesson 7. The transformative power of gratitude. Gratitude is more than a polite thank you. It's a spiritual force that shifts your entire state of being. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to stand in prayer so long that his feet would swell. When asked why, he said, "Should I not be a grateful servant?" Think about that. Even with all he endured, he lived in deep, constant gratitude. Gratitude transforms pain. It doesn't erase hardship, but it teaches the heart to focus on what's still good, still working, still beautiful. Here's a humorous reset. Ever stub your toe and suddenly remember to be grateful for all your non-stub toes? Yep, gratitude has a funny way of showing up. True gratitude isn't just words. It's how you live, how you speak, how you treat others. Tonight, before you sleep, list 3 things you're grateful for. Write them down. Make it a habit. Lesson 8. Trust in Allah, Tawakkul. We all want control, but the truth is, we don't have it. Life is unpredictable. Plans fail. People disappoint. But there's one refuge that never fails. Tawakkul, placing your trust in Allah after doing your best. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, trusted Allah in the darkest moments. He did his part and surrendered the rest. Tawakkul is not laziness, it's not wishful thinking, it's action plus surrender, effort plus faith. Quick reality check. Ever plan your whole day and then your car won't start? Welcome to life. Control is an illusion, but trust, that's real. Trusting Allah doesn't mean you'll never face hardship. It means you'll never face it alone. So when life shakes you, don't panic. Anchor your heart in the one who never changes. Assignment: think of one area in your life where you're holding too tightly. Make dua and release it to Allah. Lesson 9. The mercy model. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was described as a mercy to the worlds. That wasn't poetic, it was lived reality. He forgave when others condemned. He uplifted when others judged. Mercy was his mode. Mercy softens the heart. Without it, Religion becomes harsh, life becomes bitter, relationships break. A quick pattern interrupt. Ever met someone who quotes rules all day but never smiles? Islam without mercy is like food without salt, technically complete, but nobody enjoys it. Mercy doesn't mean permissiveness, it means justice with compassion, truth with kindness, boundaries with softness. Show mercy to your family, your co-workers, your neighbors, and most importantly, yourself. Many of us are so hard on ourselves, we break before we grow. Tonight, choose mercy. Speak gently, forgive quickly, smile sincerely. Lesson 10. Living with Purpose. You were not created to simply survive. You were created to live with purpose. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, knew his purpose: to call to truth, to guide, to serve. Every step he took was aligned with that divine mission. When you live with purpose, life becomes clearer, suffering makes sense, decisions become easier, your time gains weight. Here's the urgent truth: life is short, and the next breath is not guaranteed. Purpose gives your pain meaning, your blessings direction, your life value. So what is your purpose? Don't wait for the perfect answer. Start with a sincere question. Make dua. Ask Allah to guide you. Write down 3 intentions for your life that reflect your highest values. Let this final lesson not be an ending, but a beginning. Thank you for walking this path. If this journey touched your heart, please subscribe our channel and comment to encourages us. Let others walk with us. May Allah bless you, guide you, and keep your heart anchored in Him.